tourism is such a vibrant and vital part of the economy of the Caribbean. And fortunately for all of us, it is also an extremely strong and resilient industry. No matter how much we talk about the crises that affect the tourism industry in the Caribbean and worldwide, you know that at some point, sooner than later, we always get to talk about a recovery. That is the nature of the business that we're in, and we're extremely pleased that the Caribbean is such a meaningful competitor in what really today is the world's largest industry. So that said, we are going to be talking about the state of things today and the state of things to come to the extent that we can predict anything. And the reality is on the pages of the notes which Mr. Winfield Griffith will share with you. So with that said, I'm going to turn it over to the Director of Research and Information Technology, Winfield Griffith.
Thank you very much. Tourism arrivals in the Caribbean are on the rebound. Tourism has gone through some hard times, particularly in the early part of the year, but there are very encouraging signs that we are seeing from the evidence presented by our members. We've got information in from the wider Caribbean region. Our members, 33 of them, all countries in the Caribbean, are members of the Caribbean Tourism Organization. And the feedback from these members suggests that there was a decline of 3.6% in visitor arrivals in 2009 compared with 2008. Now, while overall the decline was 3.6%, we saw progressive improvement when we look at the quarterly information submitted by these members. A redeeming feature of the whole tourism business in the Caribbean has been the high level of activity which has persisted even in the face of the crisis. That 3.6% decline in business still resulted in over 22 million visitor arrivals to the region as a whole. And the decline is consistent with the global tourism decline recorded by the UN WTO, UN World Tourism Organization. In total, quarterly arrivals reveal a scenario of hope. We saw in the first quarter 6.6% decline, and by the second quarter it had dropped to 6%. The third quarter showed a 2% decline, and the fourth quarter actually registered an increase in visitor arrivals, 1% increase. Then we look at the sub-regions of the Caribbean. The OECS countries took the brunt of the depression. They declined 12.3% in 2009. Except for St. Lucia and Dominica, all the other OECS countries showed declines in arrivals. So they've been particularly hard hit. Barbados and the larger CARICOM countries fared relatively better than the smaller ones. These countries recorded a 3.6% decrease in traffic overall. Jamaica and Guyana showed moderate increases. Most countries in this group, the larger CARICOM countries, registered single-digit declines in business. The Dutch territories, the Dutch Caribbean territories, share a similar experience to the larger Caribbean, the CARICOM countries, recording a 3.7% fall off. For the other countries in the CTO family, Cuba had a moderate increase of 3.5%, while the Dominican Republic showed a slight rise as well. The Spanish-speaking country, Puerto Rico, fell by 3%, and the USVI also fell by 3%. When we look at the main markets, providing business for this business to the region is drawn. Canada has remained robust throughout the economic depression. Arrivals from Canada increased by 8.6% for the year. And there were increases during every quarter of the year, starting with an 8.2% increase in the first quarter, a 6.0 in the second, and in the third they showed an 8% increase, and in the fourth quarter they rose by 1%. The U.S. market is clearly on the rebound. While overall for the year that market was down 4% on the previous year, when we look at what has happened in the first quarter, then they declined by 10.1%. And the final quarter, then they actually rose by 1%. So they moved from 10.1 through 7.1 in the second, and 1.1 in the third, so 1% in the fourth quarter. There is clearly reason for hope. When we take into account the fact that the U.S. economy is also showing signs of improvement. We saw last week that unemployment fell to single digits the first time in a number of quarters. That is added reason for hope from that market. The European market, however, did not do very well in the past year, particularly in the second and third quarter of the year. They showed double-digit declines. And we are clearly seeing that there's a slackening of business out of the UK market in particular. They fell by 5.6% in 2008 and a further 11.8% in 2009. Now, we actually get over 1.1 million visitors from the UK market. And these visitors are skewed, they are most dominant in the Eastern Caribbean.